Hey everyone.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
I'm so excited you guys are all here. Um, Hopefully we'll have a couple more people, but we will get started. Um, and let's see, let me make sure we're recording, which we are. So I'm going to go to a PowerPoint presentation in a minute, but I just wanted to do a quick introduction for, well, I know all of you guys virtually, but different getting to, chat in person. So I'm really appreciate you guys hopping on to find out about more about this. This is just like a big, broad overview. And you can ask as many questions as you want. You can talk separately. You can process and think about it. It's easy, whatever works. Catherine and I are hosting it together. Catherine, thank you for finding a spot with Wi-Fi or with reception.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. I try to find a good parking spot, ladies. So we'll see how this goes. The sun is a little bit blinding right now.
It's very flattering. All right. I am going to go to, hold on one second. All right. I'm going to go to share my screen. Hold on. There we go. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Everybody see it? Okay. All right. So just to kind of start with some real basics, our team is called Grace, Goodness, and a Little Grit. That was name I came up with when I started doing this. And my goal was to find something that was about my values and about what I kind of was bringing to this. And I'll talk a little bit about my coaching, what kind of brought me to this in the first place as I get a little further along. You've got Catherine and I. So I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of this little thing up there. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of this little thing so it's not blocking anything for you guys. All right. So this is really the core of where it all begins. It's when I started coaching, I really didn't ever see myself as a coach. I went on my own journey. I lost a lot of weight. I started doing it not because I thought this was the answer with Beachbody, but because I was actually desperate enough to try it. I actually really didn't have any real positive feelings about what the outcome would be. I was incredibly skeptical about it. You probably won't find a lot of people who were more skeptical than I was. I had never done shakes. I had never really subscribed to any programs. I had never done cleanses. I had belonged to a gym, but I didn't go very often because I didn't really know what to do there. And I was very unhappy with where I was physically, emotionally, and everything, but didn't really know what to do about it, and literally was desperate enough to say, all right, I'll try it. Hated the name of the company, Beachbody. I was like, what is that? I'm not going to have a beach body. It's not, at my age, what is that about? And so I went for it. And I started in May, and by the summer, or I guess I started late May, by August, I had lost like 25 pounds and felt so much better. And everyone kept saying, well, what are you doing? And I was referring people to my coach, and my coach said to me, well, why are you referring people to me? You should try this. And I had already done a little bit of research because I'm a researcher. It's just who I am. And I was like, well, I'm a discount coach, because we'll talk about this, but a lot of people become discount coaches just to get a discount on the products. But I didn't, it didn't occur to me, hold on, guys, please. Sorry, family in the other room. It didn't, I did research, but I really didn't see myself as a coach. I had a very different perception of what a coach was. I felt like a coach had to be at the end of their journey. A coach had to really be an incredible expert on all these things. A coach had to, I don't know, I just felt like a coach had to have a lot of skills and strengths that weren't mine. But the one thing I did really like to do was help people. So when people started talking to me about it, I started talking back and explaining. And next thing I knew, I was starting to help people. And that was really where my why started, just to help people, because they were appreciating my results and they were looking for the same. As I was doing that, I found that I really loved it. I loved helping people. I loved learning what I was learning. I loved discovering this whole new side of myself that I didn't know existed. I loved the community of women that we have. That's amazing. And the financial isn't so bad either, as that's grown. That's been a great thing, especially as I'm prepping to send kids off to college. So, the why can begin one place, and it can really change depending on where you are in your journey. But that's what you kind of hang on to, going back and remembering that core of why you're doing it. And it's different for different people. But that helps motivate along the way. If there has to be something meaningful. So if the only reason you're going to do it is to make money and for no other reason at all, there are people who do it that way, but most people who work with Beachbody care about helping people, or they're looking for their own accountability, and finding that it helps them to help people because it holds them accountable. And we'll talk about that too. When we look at coaching, the thing that's different about this as a product versus, Rodan and Fields or a jewelry company or LipSense or whatever it is that the relationship and the trust matters a lot. I use Rodan and Fields. I love it. I've bought Stella and Jot jewelry that I love. It doesn't matter who I buy it from. I buy it from friends because I'm happy to help them with their business. But it's not like I really need them or need to trust them in order to do it, in order to work with them. There's no real personal connection other than the fact that I was already friends with them. As a coach, people are working with us really because of a lot because of their relationship with us, a lot because they trust us and they want to they feel like we can support them on this journey. It's a really personal journey. So we're connecting in a lot of ways that have a lot more to do with all of us than just the health and fitness. I connect with people over being a mom of teens. I connect with people over being a teacher. I connect with people over being a skier, over loving to cook, over the journey I've been on with going through divorce or going through a stillbirth or growing up with various challenges, whatever it is. I connect with people over all these different things. I connect with people over being 50 years old and, you know, getting where they are in their journey and getting the way they feel when they feel like there's no hope. So these are all things that we connect to. And one of the things that would happen early in the training, if you decide to go forward, is that we really ask you to kind of think about, who are you? You know, what traits are there about you? Because that's who you're going to reach. That's who you're going to really be able to support. Not that I can't support a young nursing mama, but that's not going to be my biggest audience, because my biggest audience is probably going to be other women in my age group who are struggling at this point with hormones and with stress of teenagers and divorce and various things in their life. So when you think about who you are, and that links a lot to what you share on social media, is you're sharing yourself so that people are comfortable with you, so that people feel like, all right, I'm going to do something that's scary. I'm going to take this step towards better health, but I'm going to do it with somebody at my side who's going to have my back. I am not going to just order from somebody who's going to say, thanks for the commission, and walk away and bail. I get somebody who's mine. I get somebody who is there with me every step of the way and who understands my journey. And that's a really, really, really important thing. Catherine, you want to talk a little bit about this and maybe a little bit about your own journey with this too?
Sure. So I think pretty much everybody that's actually in the meeting sort of knows me already. But for a quick recap, in October, I had a really horrible doctor's visit and had to really revisit how I was living my life and where I wanted to go moving forward. I was not having a lot of success on my own in improvements in those areas. So I was a lot like Pam. At the beginning of November, I said, well, I may as well give this a whirl because, you know, what do I have to lose but a few bucks? If I flop, then I'm just back where I started from. But I really got invested. There were a lot of reasons why. One was having Pam there behind me. You know, that accountability to somebody that is checking in with you and wants to know how you're doing and didn't just sell you something and walk away is big. And then I started seeing results and I thought, well, hey, maybe I can do this. And so that was where I started, and I'm on the journey, and the journey is going to be for the rest of my life because I have to keep all of this on a roll so that my health stays where it needs to be. And, you know, I don't have to worry about some of those issues as much anymore. I signed up as a discount coach so that I could get my Shakeology every month a little bit cheaper than if I were just a regular customer. I never had any intention of ever coaching anybody. And then after I had lost quite a bit of weight, like about 35 pounds or so, Haley came to me and she said, I really need your help and I want to know what you're doing and I want you to be my coach because you know me. Thanks, Haley. And so that was how I ended up doing this. That was my why when I started out, was because Haley said, I really want you to be my coach. So I took the plunge and started actively coaching. I have not been actively coaching for very long, but I have found it incredibly rewarding. I'm only about 40% of the way done with Faithfully Fit Academy right now. So I am right in the midst of all of that right now. It has been a great experience so far. One thing that I love about it is that if I have 5 hours this week that I can, work on training in Faithfully Fit Academy, then I can do that. If I only end up having an hour this week and some free time to listen to my personal development audio book, like when I'm driving to and from places, that's okay too. It's kind of self-paced. You need to sort of not get bogged down and keep on moving, but you really can learn as quickly or as slowly as you need to, depending on how much time you want to invest. And Tracy actually developed all of this herself. So, I feel like as I have moved into coaching, she's talking about things in Faithfully Fit Academy. And this is somebody that was on our team call a couple of weeks ago. It's not some person from way high up in Beachbody that does not know any of us. She's right here with us, and she's an active coach herself, which kind of means a lot to me. And there are lots of training opportunities. There are so many things that I just, can't even really keep up with all of them. So you get to pick and choose the things that you are wanting to watch. I try to always watch the National Wake Up Call every week. But there are so many opportunities. So if there's an area that you feel like as you're going through Faithfully Fit Academy that you really want to explore more, that free training is out there. I mean, trust me, if there's a question that you have about something, you're going to be able to find free training on it through Beachbody. It's going to be out there somewhere. So you don't have to worry about that. At first, I was really worried. I thought, I don't know anything about this stuff. I'm everybody's biggest cheerleader, I love to accentuate whatever positives are going on. But beyond that, I didn't think that I really had any other coaching behaviors. And now I'm learning that sort of all of that stuff is in there and it's covered. You just have to open it up and find it and figure out what you need to work on. And then it's all right there for you.
That's awesome. Just to explain who Tracy is. So my team is Grace Goodness and a Little Grit. Faithfully Fit is the team that I joined, that we're all part of, Tracy. And then we have other teams that were also part of that downline. What's great is that Faithfully Fit is an elite team. My goal is that Grace Goodness and a Little Grit will be an elite team by the end of 2019 as well. When you are an elite team, you have access to that many more resources. You have access to different people in corporate who support you. You have access to just like various opportunities. Like I got to be in the test group for To Be Mindset because of working with Tracy and being part of an elite team. She gets invited to be part of things, and she's able to invite people from her team to be part of it. And things like that, like being in the test group was incredible. Working directly with, for those of you who are doing To Be Mindset, I got to spend every week on calls like this with Alana a couple times a week, which was pretty great. Like I got to know her in a whole different way because the videos weren't even done when I did it. So that was huge. And so, yes, Tracy created and has continued to revise this curriculum. We give her a lot of feedback and she'll go in and revise and update, but there's a bunch of different modules that you learn everything from how to organize your back office and set up your AFT for getting your paycheck to, dealing with understanding the products better or how to really deal with inviting and things like that. So there's a lot of education. There's a lot to take in. I've actually gone through it a couple times. I go back to it all the time to remind myself. you start in on some personal development, getting into the book, The Compound Effect, and TED Talks and things like that. So it's a really, really well thought out program. As part of that, we kind of set out goals for people. So if you walk away from this call thinking, you know what, okay, this is something I want to do, we kind of set some basic goals to get started. And there are a few reasons for those goals. So number one is to commit to completing a program, whether it is choosing the 21-day fix or choosing to, whatever it is. And some of you may have already, some of you are already doing programs and are already actively engaged in them and completing them. But part of that is because you're on your own journey. And it's really important as a coach that journey doesn't stop. I actually had somebody the other day who said, well, if I become a coach, does that mean I don't have a coach anymore? And I said, no. My answer was basically, no, you're stuck with me. Like, I'm your coach, whether you like it or not. I mean, I will leave you alone if you want me to leave you alone. But you becoming a coach doesn't mean I walk away from you. It means I'm supporting you both as a coach and as your challenger. I mean, I would be crushed if Catherine stopped thinking of me as her coach and stopped sending me her pictures and her updates and her progress and stopped asking me questions. It's just a different level of support, and it shifts. And also the more you learn, like, I'm not going to Tracy asking her as many questions about my own health journey, except, she and I chatted about it when I was doing 2B Mindset and I added an 80-day obsession. We were talking about my nutrition, but we talk about it amongst ourselves as coaches in general. So the support is a little bit different. One of the goals is to read a personal development book. One of the books we recommend is The Compound Effect. It's part of the training, but there's a lot of other books out there. And depending on what you want to focus on, there's a lot of things to recommend. Some books are more about your personal journey. Some books are more about kind of, for me, like the entrepreneurship part, leadership part. I've been digging into that because that is less familiar to me. And I've spent a lot of time in the last couple of years digging into my personal journey and really growing. I never did any of the personal development reading, actually, until I started coaching. I kind of rolled my eyes at it, and I'm so glad that I've dug into it because it's really helped me. We talked about getting 3 people started in a challenge group. When you run a challenge group, for those of you who are doing challenge groups, you are never on your own doing them. You always have other coaches who are doing them with you. But if you are helping 3 people get started, you are helping 3 people start their journey. And that starts your momentum. And that will also help you pay for your own consumable, which is most likely your Shakeology, or maybe it's Beach Bars, or maybe it's Energize, or maybe it's a combination. But that will help you take care of that. So those are the first month goals. And again, you're not alone in doing that. You have as much hand-holding as you want. There are tons of opportunities for training, for rewards, for travel. I had never been on a business trip in my life until I became a coach, because as a classroom teacher, you go to staff development at like random little towns in the area. You do not do business trips. And it's been very cool because I have gotten to travel to a number of places and be part of a lot of really cool training. These are pictures from last summer's summit. This was our Diamond Lunch. This was in Indianapolis. This was like one of the big sessions. I think this might have been closing night, which it's a huge deal, and they have the Beachbody Challenge winners, for which those of you who know Julie, she was a semifinalist in the Beachbody Challenge. Like, out of 50,000 people, she got picked to be a semifinalist, which is amazing. This year, Rachel Hollis is going to be there. If you have not read Girl Wash Your Face or Girl Stop Apologizing, it's her new book, where I'm actually going to run a book group for Girl Stop Apologizing. I really love her stuff, and she's going to be speaking at Summit. this summer in Indianapolis, which is going to be really great. There are Success Club trips. Last year I was in Mexico. The year before I was in Punta Cana. This year I'm not going, but a bunch of people are going on a cruise. You earn the ability to go, and then depending on your success, Beachbody basically pays for most of your trip for you and a guest on an all-inclusive trip. I went to LA on a leadership conference. We have team retreats. I was in Florida in January doing this amazing, amazing, amazing team training where we looked at our spiritual gifts and how we were really utilizing them in our lives and really dug into ourselves. It was a very personal journey kind of retreat. It's actually a retreat that I would like to run for my own team for anyone who's part of it next year. When you become elite, you earn various bonuses. And what I would like to be able to do is take those bonuses and put them back into all of my team and have you guys whoever's on my team have the opportunity to be part of some of the great training that I've already gotten to be part of. These are just some more pictures. This was this was Punta Cana or Mexico. I forget which this was actually. It was one of them. This was last summer. You can see there are people at every, this lady right here, Kay, she's a grandma. And the one next to her, Amanda, has a 1-year-old. So our team is really made up of everybody. There are 20-somethings and they're grandmas. Deanna's a grandma too. There's like everything, a little of everything. And we all are different. We all come from different places. We come from all over it's a virtual community, so you can support people and be part of this team from anywhere in the country, and even from other parts of the world at this point. But I have to say that, and I don't think all teams are like this, but our team is, I literally can't gush enough about these women and the women who have come into my life. We've talked about this for those who are in the 4 Goals group. It can be really hard at a certain stage in your life or at any stage in your life as a woman to meet people who you feel safe with personally, who you feel like you can truly trust and not be judged by. And I have to say that when I look at pictures like these are women who raise me up in a way that I don't know if I've ever felt that in my life. They support me. They are proud of me. They encourage me. They make me laugh. They make me cry. We played beer pong together when we were in Florida in January. We sat there and dug, we were going through talking about our arrows in terms of, we have these spiritual gifts. So my spiritual gifts are mercy and intercession and discernment. And then we were talking about in this training, the arrows in our lives that are getting in the way of us truly being our best selves. And I was talking about some things that I've been going through in my life. And they were literally all sitting around crying with crying before I was crying. It's, you really, when they say they're going to pray, they mean they're going to pray. They take every one of us. I don't know. I don't even know how to put it into words. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And for all my 4 Goals girls, it's really like that. It's, if you took all those people and you got to be with them as much as I get to be with these girls, it's in real life. It's like that. It really is. And I think it's one of the biggest reasons that I keep coaching, because the people that it's brought into my life, it's incredible. I have no words for it. Even though I've been using lots of words, it doesn't even begin to touch it. These are a couple of other retreats. This was Alicia and I in February in LA. They put us up at a hotel. We got to go to the Beachbody headquarters. We had amazing training with top coaches. And what's really cool is that these top coaches come from so many different points and places in their lives. They're just like us. They're different ages. They have different backgrounds. Some of them were looking to quit their jobs and replace their income. Some of them just thought it was going to be a side hustle and it turned into more. They're all making, the top coaches are all making over $1 million. A lot of coaches out there are making six figures. It's very possible. It's very possible to do that. I am certainly not at that point. But it is definitely more, it's harder, it's a different kind of juggling thing when you are working full time and raising kids and doing all of that. Obviously you have to manage your time, but I also will say it is very manageable. You learn to work in pockets and do things in a different way. Because I've had a lot of people say, I don't think I have time. Just like I've had people say, I don't have time to work out. Like, well, 30 minutes a day, you can probably find the time if it matters to you enough. And for something like this, I think it's the same thing. The time is there. It's just learning how to manage it. Beachbody has a lot of, here we go. Sorry, it's skipped. I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. Beachbody has a lot of technology that they provide us with. When you become a coach, whether you are a discount coach or an active coach, there is a $16 a month fee that provides you with access to the discount. You still come out ahead, but it also provides you with kind of a platform. In a way, it's like your brick and mortar. You don't need to, you are not laying out money to buy products for people. You are not going to people's houses saying, here, I'll bring you things and you can buy them from me now. Beachbody handles all of that for you, and it makes life a lot easier. We have something called Share a Cart, which makes, you send people a link to place an order. It makes life incredibly, incredibly simple. Sorry, I am clearly having trouble with my technology. We also have this app for our challenge groups. If you have not been part of a challenge group, it is an amazing community that we get to use to support people and to coach people in. If you have never been in a challenge group, it's certainly a part of the experience of being a coach or your own journey. People are doing different programs, following different nutrition approaches, doing different workout plans. Some people are doing their own workout program. Some people are using Beachbody. Some people are doing a combination of. But everyone in there is working on their journey and their goals. And they may vary drastically. People may have goals that are about having an autoimmune disease and wanting to feel healthier. People may have goals about not wanting to be one of their parents who died of a heart attack when they were young. People may want to lose 100 pounds. People may just want to, maybe you look at them and they're skinny, but they have horrible eating habits. People may just want to be stronger. It's different for everyone. But in these challenge groups, we come together to support each other, and it's a pretty amazing place. This is like what I was saying, that there's the monthly coach membership, which is the $16 fee. You start out with a challenge pack, and that's for your own journey. And that challenge pack may have Shakeology, or may have Beachbody on Demand, or may have 2B Mindset. There's a bunch of different versions. And you're being a product of the product. You are practicing this vital behavior of setting an example of living a healthy life. Because it doesn't make sense to be a coach if you're not living a healthy life. Because why would anyone want to trust you and work with you if you weren't trying to live it? You're being honest. I mean, it's not like there aren't days that I miss my workout or that I don't eat half the pizza, but I'm working on it on a daily basis and moving forward. These are some of the different consumables. There's Shakeology, there's Daily Sunshine, which is a great shake for kids. There's various boosts. There's a performance line. There's beach bars, which are so yummy. 3-day refresh. I have like a total, this is my Energized performance line. It's like my caffeine now. I don't drink diet soda or anything like that, but I drink my Energize, like my own little addiction. This kind of goes back to that picture, that frame early on. You need to be yourself. Everybody has different whys. Everyone has different goals. And people are going to come to you because you're being you. Selling as a Beachbody coach is less about selling and more about sharing. It's about saying, listen, I can help. I have tools that can allow me to support you and to be a healthier person. And I would love to do that. And I get where you're coming from and I get your journey because I'm on my own. But you're you. You are not trying to be. I mean, I can look at this picture. This is from our retreat when we were in Florida. And we have a Google exec and we have a mom of 4 under 6, I think they are, the last of whom is adopted. We have, this woman is an ex-Marine. And she's actually lost like 50 pounds herself. Fitness instructors. This one back here with her arms up has a dream of being like on the Food Network. You know, everybody's their own person and everyone brings something else to the table. And that's one of the things that makes it amazing. If you decide that this is something that you want to do, I'm sorry. It's like having a toddler. You get on the phone and they need to play with you. The dog is like bringing me his toy. He's like my toddler. If you decide that this is something you want to do, we sit down and we make a plan. We figure out what fits you, get you started. We've got this action handbook that's actually a new tool, and we dig in at whatever rate. You know, we're here to match your pace and support you in whatever way we can. And that's about it. I'm looking, and actually we have like less than a minute left of this call. Are there any quick questions? No? So you guys, what I would say the next steps is like literally just talk to Catherine, talk to me, and see if this might be a good fit for you. It was a ton of information. I know that. Process it. It's recorded. I will share it. You can watch it again. And we're here. And I really thank you guys for hopping on.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
How do you turn it off, though?
Look it up.